going to use the full name of this game exactly once.高機動戦闘mecha Volguard II loosely means Highly Mobile Combat Mech Volguard II. But the big words on the box, and the only words on the title screen, read Volguard II, so that's what I'm going to use. If the 2 didn't clue you in, this is a sequel to a computer game. This sequel is Famicom only, too. It was never ported back to the computers where the series originated. It would be easy to dismiss Volguard II as a generic shoot-'em-up, but there's a lot going on under the hood in this game. The game hides its mechanics from you, and a casual glance doesn't really do it justice. The story is that ancient humans installed a big computer system called Volguard all around the world. That computer's gone nuts, and it's up to you to take out all of the nodes. Naturally, that means shooting your way through waves of fighters to get to the computer at the end. The first thing that makes Volguard II different is that you have a damage meter instead of it being one hit, one kill. This spot in the upper right hand corner shows the current percentage of damage that you have. If it reaches 100, then it's game over. Colliding with bullets and weak enemies generally moves it up a percent or two. However, colliding with stationary targets, like these flying posts, immediately sends it to 100%. The longer meter is your energy meter for taking shots. It goes up as you destroy enemies. The A button shoots, and you drop a bomb as well as shoot forward when you press it. For the most part, the ground targets are just bonus points. But what you want to keep an eye out for are these buildings with red dots. They're radar installations, and if you destroy enough of them, you summon a refueling ship. However, the moment it's summoned, all of the enemies on screen rush forward. That includes the indestructible ones that can destroy you with one touch. So here comes the big refueler. It moves to the center of the stage, and then a blinking arrow appears. The easy way to do this is to just stay on top of it. The ship repairs half of your damage, refills your energy, and then depending on what your damage level is, you might get a special weapon. Generally speaking, the higher the damage, the better the weapon you get. So it can pay to intentionally take damage and ride the high end of that meter until you can summon the repair ship. The repair ship isn't the only way to recover or pick up weapons. These pods will sometimes appear, and collecting those will give you something. There are also flying radar installations that you can blow up that will count towards the total for summoning the repair ship. There are these orange ones. After you've been flying for a while, you'll come across this formation of ships. They're here to give you something. A pod that will chase behind your ship and fire a second shot. And while you have that pod, if you press the B button, your ship turns into a robot. The robot walks along the ground and can fire arcing shots with A, punch with B, or you press up to jump. If you press B while in the air, you turn back into the ship. The robot's not that useful as a mode, but is absolutely required for some sub-bosses. You have to fist fight these robots. Robot mode can also be useful for dodging some enemy formations. The pod can get blown up, so you'll want to be a little bit careful with it. Besides the regular waves of enemies, you'll sometimes encounter these big guys. They're actually not too tough to beat. If you survive to the end of an area, then it's time to fight the Volguard node. The computer fills the air with bullets, but the pattern isn't super difficult. You have to clear away all of the shielding before you can do any more damage. Then you have to destroy the 3 cores. As you blow them up, they do reduce the number of bullets being fired at you. Once all 3 cores are destroyed, the bullets stop and you're able to shoot out the top surface. It will go black, and then you advance to the next area. Volguard II has 25 areas in total before the game starts to loop back on itself. I have to mention my absolute least favorite thing in Volguard II, and that's the music. It's the same 10 notes played over and over and over again. The music does change for a short time when you get a special weapon, but it's just as short and repetitive. There are some people who claim that Volguard II is the first game where there were lyrics for the music. We know that's not true because we've already seen it in Astro Robo Sasa. And the lyrics that are in the strategy guide come across more as words applied to repetitive droning than an actual song. Volguard II also has some secrets in it, like this penguin that can appear and you can shoot down. Occasionally a Famicom controller will appear, blinking a direction, and if you press that direction, all the enemies on the screen are destroyed. You'll probably do that by accident. This is another game where DBsoft was giving away prizes for players who did really well. In this case, you could send away your high scores to get medals. Talking this through, I think I like Volguard II better than I did when I started. It's not a great game, but it's kind of creative and there's a lot going on. I do find it a bit exhausting to play. You'll have to fly through enormous waves of enemies to get any kind of variation in the gameplay going. The robot mode comes across more as an afterthought than anything. And oh, that music is so awful. But I would have liked to have seen a Volguard III. This one is a near miss with a lot of good ideas in it. Maybe a sequel a few years later would have gotten all the kinks out.